In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast.
Hi. Hi, Chadwick. How are you?
Wonderful, Frank. How are you doing this evening?
Ooh, boy, a little warm, a little sticky.
Mm.
We're finally getting a taste of summer here in NorCal.
Finally.
And finally, hey, you know what? It was pretty wet. It was somewhat calm. Somewhat. We've had a couple of hot weeks, but it hasn't been that bad.
We've been over
Like,
100
the last-
forever.
It is not.
Sick of this BS.
Well, you gotta. That's a you problem, okay? I'm in here, lovely waterfront adjacent, Martinez, California. Um, and here we are. We're doing this again. We are podding and we are casting. Um, and we're taking it slow, slow and steady wins the race. Or sometimes you don't even race. You just go slow.
Yeah.
Like you've got a slow machine behind you. I can see on the video feed. Which if you aren't at home, then check it out on the YouTubes. APA podcast. And I spy, if you will, in Chadwick's background, a slow vehicle.
You have one in your background too.
I have two, really. One is very slow because it's a 924 and the 924 Turbo, which is I'm probably spry when it was new. I would dare call it a fast car when it was new.
Yeah.
The little Honda back there, though, that has always been slow.
Right.
But we like slow cars, and I think we should talk about slow cars. And I think we should, I don't know, we should slow this bad boy, because I mean, a lot of people like to do the slow car fast or the fast car fast.
Sure.
But what about just a good old low and slow? Like
Mm.
what is your how do you enjoy your slow cars? Do you enjoy slow cars?
I enjoy them slowly and passionately. But
Oh boy, at a
I
medium
do
pace.
I do love slow cars, man. I do love track time. I love spirited driving as much as the next fella or lady. But I do love slow cars. I think a lot of that stems, and a major component is my love for Miatas. I've been into Miatas for quite a while, and I'll tell you what, they are fast on a track. They are fast in the canyons, but everywhere else, they're slow as shit. Like in traffic, regular driving, but they don't suck for it because a Miata on a scenic, let's say a highway vista with an ocean view, is a gorgeous time, and it's okay to be slow.
Question.
Yes.
Is like an NA, like a 1.6 NA Miata, is that like the fastest a slow car can get? Like if it's any faster than that, are we out of slow car territory? Like real slow car, because you'll see people like, oh, like a C4 Corvette or a base C5 automatic. That's a slow car. It's like, no, it's not like a rocket ship, but I wouldn't call it a slow car.
God,
Like,
no. A base C4 definitely not slow, right? 200,
Yeah.
245 horsepower, no way.
Yeah. And
No
so
way.
like, I mean, that was a rocket ship when it was new, and not all these cars have to be, but like, my little like 84 Celica Supra, it's not fast by today's terms, but that was a quick car back in its heyday, right?
It's got some power. I would argue that any NA or NB, barring maybe the Mazda Speed or slow, because I think I clocked a 1.8 Miata at, I did 0 to 60 in like 9.5. So that's not fast. 9.5. I think that qualifies as slow car slow.
For the sake of this conversation, I think maybe 9 second 0 to 60 run is probably the cutoff.
Yeah.
Certainly if you dip into like a 15.9 quarter mile, that's way too fast for this conversation.
Yeah.
We're talking mid 16s and a quarter.
Also, use a
or higher.
parachute. Use a parachute, Daredevil, if you're pushing under the 16-second mark.
That's right. So yeah, and I think there's a lot of really interesting, really good, really fun cars that are just lovely. And I don't know. I have owned. I would love to own. There's a bunch I've yet to own. Like, I think maybe the most classic example would be like a Citroen 2CV.
Yeah.
Like 0 horsepower, 0 sporting pretenses, 3 lug bolt pattern wheels. Like, but how cool is that? Like, how cool is one?
Pretty lightweight.
They
have a racing series of those.
Yes,
which is cool.
Exactly.
Right, so
that's fantastic. And they're death traps, but they're cool, and I want one. How about you? Is there anything that's like that you've got that you like maybe have owned and would like to own again, or that you've got on your radar that's like, that's a slow car, but I want one?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
what are you thinking?
it's not a whispered rumor that I'm into like turd boxes, right? Like performance turd boxes. So like there are tons of variants of economy cars that I really love and I'm still passionate about. And no matter how much I wax poetic or like really try to pump up their attributes, they're
Wax
slow
on,
as
wax off.
shit. They're absolutely slow compared to, there's no modern car that has similar performance numbers or horsepower, right? Like I'm like
Right.
bragging about a car with 105 horsepower and that's laughable. It's like completely not acceptable, but it's still a fun car. And I love those cars, man. Like I'm not racing all the time. And it's just, something about it, man. And slow
Yeah.
car slow, right? Because there's no option sometimes, but they're still like enjoyable to drive. So it's like the Miata I mentioned. When you're driving it slow, it's still an enjoyable affair, right? It doesn't have to be like balls to the wall, like, revving out that delicious 1.6.
Yeah.
So turd boxes, man. That's probably my strongest infatuation with slow car slow.
Yeah. Is there any one specific, like, are you just itching to get yourself like a Chevy Citation X11 or something just like truly awful? That you just gotta get. You gotta get yourself a Geostorm, which I kind of want.
I really do want a Geostorm, and that might border because I think that's a little quicker than what we're saying. If you get the 140 horsepower
maybe.
dual overhead cam, I think so.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say like even though
A
it's not,
GSI.
yeah, even though it's not fast, I wouldn't say like my NX 2000 is a slow because that's a
No,
pretty quickish. That
it's
SR20 is pretty powerful.
yeah.
So,
That's quicker than a that's an 8 point something 0 to 60. I think.
for sure,
I
yeah,
think that, yeah, NX
all
2000.
day.
Now the 1600 maybe, or like a
Maybe.
Pulsar NX with
Definitely. That's in the
with the
nines,
sport
tens.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm always looking for turd boxes. So like a Geostorm would be awesome. That's a little sportier. It's a little racy for my blood. But
Right.
slow car slow, like maybe like a Z24 Cavalier convertible manual.
Yes.
It's kind of like my style. And there's a ton of stuff like that, right? Like I love Escort GTs. They're right in the low nines, so perfect for what we're talking about. Good handling, fun, great looking car, Mazda reliability. Uh,
Yeah.
so those are cool. Any of those kind of cars. But yeah,
MX3 GS.
I don't know with the V6.
Yeah.
That's a
I
lot.
don't know. It might be
That's a
too
lot of
hot
power,
because
buddy.
that was what, like 125 horsepower or something out of that.
Was it?
That
Yeah, right
six.
around 130, I think. But it
Yeah.
was it like a 2 liter?
1.8.
1.8. That's
I
right.
think it was. I don't know officially, but I think maybe the smallest production V6 sold in North America, I think, was that car.
It's pretty wild. Yeah, someone had a 2 liter. I remember that back in the day. But yeah, that engine, that's a cool car. But that might be a little too sporty. You need to let off
Yeah,
the throttle a
maybe.
little bit.
But that's the thing. Like, I think there's some sporty stuff. Like, when I think back to some of the slow car fast, or sorry, oh boy,
Oh, see? Adjust the
slow
mindset.
car, exactly, slow car, slow stuff I would want. I think back to like more classic stuff. Like, I would,
Ah.
like, boy, I would genuinely, like, I've never owned a 510, a Datsun 510,
Oh yeah.
but I think like just an L16 powered, no frills, just tuned for reliability. Yeah, like that. A Toyota Corona, like a 60s Toyota Corona.
I mean, if I'm cruising in one of those, dude, I got to do Datsun Roadster, dude. Like, get the
Oh, those are good.
1600 top down.
The 2000s actually, they're pretty. I don't think
That's
they
why I said
officially break
six.
out of the cold, the cold.
I said 16 to be safe, though. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
nice and slow.
those are good. And those I like those cars a lot. I'm surprised those are. I mean, they're not valueless, but I'm not surprised. I'm surprised they're
they've
not worth
jumped.
more.
They've jumped a little bit because they used to be absolutely like
Yeah,
valueless in the sense that they had no value because they were
yeah,
all rusting away on like some farmer's pasture. But
yeah. I
fortunately,
think any of the British stuff,
mm-hmm.
a TR7, which are just terrible cars.
MGB,
Yeah, MGB GT, so you get
Austin
the hardtop,
Healy.
the six-cylinder. Triumph GT6 is on like my, if I found a bag of money and I wanted to like unshit pile a car, like
Yeah,
I Triumph GT6, those things just are so cool looking. It's like a three-quarter scale like Z or E type.
Super cool.
Um,
Pack your maintenance hours in though when you can.
it's a slow. Is the interesting slow car
Hmm.
dead? Like, what's the most modern? I'm trying to think of the most
Oh,
modern
nothing interesting.
slow car because
Yeah.
there's nothing. I mean, anything now. Like, kind of nothing is slow anymore. I mean, probably the
Well,
closest thing would be like what, like BRZ 86 twins, which like aren't slow.
no, they're still like they don't make the Versa anymore, do they? You got that was like
When I think cool and slow, I think Nissan Versa.
well, I mean, they tried to make it cool, right? That was in that
Oh, is
that
that a no?
Heroes. Do you remember the Heroes show on TV? Like they tried to
I
plug
do.
the freaking Versa, and
What
then
was it?
everybody's like,
Save the cheerleader,
"Yeah,
save the
save the
world, or whatever it
world."
was.
Yeah, yeah, and the car was a freaking unmitigated letdown city, dude. That thing was depressing. It was that. Remember the early Kia Rios? Those were like slow car, slow, but
Yeah.
no positive redeeming qualities, right?
You know what might be the best like cool slow car is like you just get like the new Civic Sport, which I
Oh.
think you can get. I think you can get a Civic Sport with a manual, and it's like not fast like at
1.5
all.
turbo, right?
It's the yeah, but it's not as like yeah, it's not as quote unquote ballsy as the SI. Um, can you hear that by the way?
Yeah, what is that? Do you got a gerbil in your butt?
No, apparently someone is printing directly next to my head at this printer here. So,
I
you know what? That's okay. We're just gonna roll with the punches. Um,
think it was a gerbil, but we'll go with the printer.
it could be
It's not like claws inside your anus.
it's not inside of me. You can't see Richard Gere is tied up like 4 feet to my left. Um, the
Richard.
anywho, yeah, I don't I think the slow car slow thing is dead. I mean, maybe
Ooh.
Miata, maybe,
Yeah, no, the
but
new one's
but
super
well,
fast.
it
It's like
got above an hour.
S2000 now. Yeah.
It's not
Um,
that fast because it's what
dude,
188 horsepower or something.
yeah, but it has like a 7,500 RPM red line. It weighs considerably less than S2000. I think the
Yeah.
metrics are almost the same, dude. Check it out. It might be a little quicker even.
I
Eh,
don't know. I don't know. It might be.
got served.
I'm just thinking out loud.
The
Like,
ND2 is
what's
legit
the
fast.
what is the slowest, interesting, fun car that one can buy? Like, I don't. The whole genre is of like the kind of cool like slow car. They're dead. They've died. They don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I mean, well, cost cutting has gotten way more efficient, right? Like we build
Sure.
cars so much cheaper than we used to. Uh, so really, we just cut the corners on interior quality. So even if it is like fun to drive, the interior is going to be atrocious. The materials are going to be horrible. There's going to be zero
I'm okay
ergonomic
with that if it's fun.
respite.
You know, if it's fun. Like back in the day, you'd have the Toyota Tercel. Okay,
Mm,
shitbox. And then they made a fun version of you had the Paseo, which was like, I don't know, I'd kind of rock
sure.
like a really clean Paseo right now.
Yeah,
Um,
tough to come
like
by. Huh.
that's right. But those cars they don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
We're past the golden age of the slow car, of the cool slow car.
Yeah, it's tough. What do we? Yeah, because today it's focused on like you're getting fuel economy, you're just getting a bottom dollar cheap car, or you're getting something with performance chops. It's like there's not as much. I feel like everything's more like siloed than it used to be. I think
Sure.
everything falls into more silos. Where back in like the 80s and 90s, which we predominantly talk about,
Mhm.
it was like a free for all. Like it was okay not to fit. It was actually, especially in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, it was really cool not to fit into a category. You see a
Yeah,
lot of oddball
yeah, that
shit coming
was,
out.
and then and then all of a sudden end of the 90s into the early 2000s you got the I know, let's double down on that and then add a pinch of retro, and then you have like HHRs and PT Cruisers and Thunderbird Revisited and like all like the Aztec, and you've just got like this mash of stuff, and so everything is pretty homogenized. It's funny because it's like siloed like you said, but it's also kind of homogenized, right, where like everything tries to solve all problems.
Kinda,
um
yeah, yeah.
everything is like slightly higher. Like look at like the Toyota Crown now, where maybe it's a compelling car, but it's like trying to be all things to all men.
It's almost almost an SUV, almost a sedan, almost
Almost a Prius,
sedans are
almost
almost dead. What a weird
Camry.
time. What a weird time we live in.
I know. And so I don't know, man. Like
Slow
Bring back
cars.
the Cube. Bring back the Nissan Cube. You know, at least that was quirky and slow.
Oh, you know
Uh,
what? There was in my notes.
Hyundai Venue.
I should consult my notes.
Hyundai Venue. Sorry.
Yes.
The Soul.
Venue. Yeah, the venue. The
Well, there's the Soul,
Veracruz.
but well, there's the Venue. It's like the weird, like it's almost like a, it's like a weird. It's almost like a cube. It's like a Nissan Cube.
Yeah, it might be fun. I put comfy cruisers because we're not really talking about that.
Sure.
Those things
Yeah.
were never fast,
Mm-mm.
but they were super comfy and fun to cruise in, which is slow car
Yes.
slow. I put my Bonneville SSC Supercharge on there, even though
Sure.
it wasn't quite a slow car, right? Like based on how
Yeah,
slow we're talking.
it could boogie.
You could get a regular Bonneville though, with the same leather interior, and that was really nice. And when you weren't on it, like it was super chill, comfy seats that just wrapped around you, and it was a fun car just to meander down a road with.
Yeah.
So I think comfy cruiser is definitely something we could talk about, right? Like Lincoln Continentals
man.
and all kinds of fun, and that shit's slow as hell. Like they're
Yeah, like-
unmitigated like land yachts. They're just absolutely slow.
Yeah. Should we just petition for the return of the Panther platform?
How can't we?
Yeah, I've got one. I've got one parked in front of the house right now. I've got it. I'm gonna image it tomorrow morning. It was too damn hot to do
Is
it.
it a
this
Marauder?
afternoon. No, it's an end run Grand Marquis.
Okay.
The Grand Marquis Ultimate Edition. It's like I think
The
it's a
fancy
2010.
Crown Vic.
Yeah, exactly, but not too fancy. No
But-
town car here.
What's modern that's like that though? Like a kind of comfy cruiser grandparent kind of car that's not. I feel like now they all
Boy,
have a good big like glob of horsepower dropped on.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Mm.
and that's the rub. It's like all of that stuff is gotten horsepowery. I mean, probably the closest would maybe be like some of the bigger Volvos. Like you have like what is it, the XC7, the XC90, like cross tour, like the one that's the SUV, but like the the V90,
Yeah,
the
they've got some
V90
pretty
wagon,
peppy-
which is
they've
like
got-
semi discontinued.
They've got some power plants in those though. You got to be careful.
Yeah, well, they're all like
Awesome.
supercharged, turbocharged, mild hybrid, 4 cylinders. It's just like this unholy, just like right when it runs out of warranty, you just like drive it off a bridge, collect an insurance payout. Yeah, a lot of that stuff is moved to SUVs, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So grandma and grandpa can just like more easily kill like 16 people at a farmer's market when they are driving longer than they should and they plow through it instead of just doing it in a Buick. Now they're doing it in an Escalante or
Wait, are
whatever.
we? Yeah, maybe we're not seeing a lot of these because like the old guilty parties are gone. Like there's not
They're
many
incarcerated for
Oldsmobiles,
vehicular
Buicks.
manslaughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But those like luxury, like slow car slow. Don't really do it. They always put power in it now. Even Lexus. Lexus builds like a more opulent car and just drops power in it.
That they do. No, it's interesting because it's like, yeah, it's a whole, that was a genre forever. Like it's weird to think that like the land yacht, full size, ridiculous American car genre somehow made it through the gasoline crisis,
Mm-hmm.
but couldn't survive the like onslaught of the SUV. Like when SUVs really started getting popular in like the early to mid 90s,
Couldn't hang.
it wasn't even, I mean, for the most part, they all died off by the time you got to 2000, with the exception of some of the Panther platform stuff that was just only hung on because of fleet use.
I think a town car is a great example. Like you get a V8, you know, with a town car, but it's not exciting. It's pretty sedate, but the interior is nice. That's a good car to go car slow in.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you won't
for sure.
complain about going slow, and that's perfectly comfortable. That's what that car is for.
Yeah. But then the more I think, the more I yearn for a more classic slow car slow, like a P1800 would be fabulous, or a Carmen Ghia, like I just like a clean Volkswagen Carmen Ghia, lower it a little bit, put some big steelies on it, put a roof rack on it, and just cruise.
Cadillac drops a new Eldorado
That'd be slick.
without putting a twin turbo V6 in it. or supercharged
EV,
V8.
yeah, or just have it be an EV. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like slow car slow. We spend a lot of time talking about, you know, the fast car stuff, or even the slow car fast thing, right? Like, you know, beating the balls off of the 924 or whatever, which
Yeah.
is a proper slow car slow.
Sure.
Porsche 914, Porsche 912e,
Tons
which
of
is like a
plugins.
yeah, which those would be fun. But yeah, I always think more classique.
Because you can't. Well, modern Porsche, there's nothing. You get into the
No,
box, even the
no, no,
base
no.
box. They're the first base box. They're still quick, so it's
Yeah,
there's nothing to play with there.
nope.
Geez, even a base Cayenne's quicker than the stuff we're talking about. So
Yeah, base Macan, which is just like a GTI on steroids.
it is.
Yeah.
It's tough, but then there's like trucks too, right? Like my Isuzu
Sure.
Trooper, which we're making fun of for being slow, which isn't super slow for what it is.
Yeah, it's not like it's a diesel
things
trooper.
things coming out of 88 are a lot. There's a lot slower and less powerful. It's got 120 horsepower, my friend, which is funny because you later could get the 2.8 V6 instead of the 4-cylinder, the GM V6, and it had the same power. So there's that.
You know what fits this bill? A DeLorean.
They're absolutely slow.
Yeah. Or a Fiero.
Ooh, when it's not on fire.
Have you ever spent any serious time with a Fiero? I've known many people that have owned Fieros over the years. I've never driven a Fiero.
I drove one of the very last GTs. I've sat inside an early car, but never driven it. The horrible one with the 4-cylinder, the Iron Duke. Yep. But I drove one of the ones with the later 2.8 V6s, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't like a horrible car at all, and it was well kept. It was an older couple, and it was a big part of their personal collection. They bought it new and kept it in nice shape. Now the ones you see for sale in like Marketplace, I don't know how well they drive. Probably atrociously.
Yeah, because I mean it's all like parts bin GM stuff, which is cool. Like we talked about that car when we were talking parts bin specials, and like I'm glad that car exists, but like I can't imagine even like a pretty well kept one is probably 100 miles from shitting the bed.
Yeah, you got to. It's just the cheap parts. The interiors were atrociously bad, poorly built. But I would love to get one. I like them, and it like falls in my shit box. Like I don't know,
Pantheon,
repertoire. Yeah. So I'd love to get one, and they're super cheap for a reason. But I want to get a license plate that says Fire O, like OH.
Yes. Oh no.
Fiero.
Yeah, like you see, maybe that's the sneaky period build that you do is you get like an Iron Duke was like the 2M4 spec.
Yeah. Cool decal
Fiero.
though. Very cool decal.
And then you know what you swap into it? Period correct GM. Say it.
3800 supercharged.
Quad 4, baby.
Oh,
Quad
well, people.
4.
So truthfully though, people do swap in the 3800 supercharged. So you get like I love the Quad 4, but the reliability I got to give it to the 38 and that torque from that supercharger. And people have actually done this with the later ones, and it's absolutely quick as shit.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's like 220 to 240 horsepower and like even more torque.
I feel like I remember seeing people doing North Star swaps as well.
That's
I don't know on the world of reliability, but I mean it'd probably freaking boogie with a North Star in it.
Yeah, I bet.
Like 275 horse.
Yeah. I'd rather have that 38 supercharged all day though. Dead nuts reliable, way better motor.
Just cross pollinate and get a Taurus SHO swap.
Ooh, fighting words.
Yeah, there you go. But see, look at us. We're already making the slow car fast. Like this is
fast as hell.
Sons of bitches. But yeah, I'd like one of those, or like one of the Iron Duke powered
Camaros.
Yeah, Camaros or Firebirds, like the early F bodies. Like
God, those were bad.
So bad. So but I want one because it's like I don't know. I'm a sucker for the terrible car.
It'll be automatic, but I guarantee you can find a low mileage 10 out of 10 car that's been sitting in some old person's garage that died with that car. Low mileage, perfect condition, but it's hidden. It's hidden away.
Yeah, there's like one out there somewhere. And it's incumbent upon us
to track it,
to unearth it.
To geo-tracker it down.
Metro convertible, slow car slow.
God, it doesn't have an option. You can't do it.
You can try and go fast, and then you will die.
I tried. Yeah, it was not good.
No,
I think the 0 to 60 time was almost the same as the quarter mile time, which is my favorite stat on that car.
Yeah, trap speed of like 63 miles an hour.
I think it was. But what I was saying about that Trooper though, dude, is
Yes.
that like, yes, it can go anywhere. It's definitely an off-road capable vehicle. These things are super built for off-roading. Everything's really like, even the axles are super strong on that. There's like no weak points, but I drive it on the street a lot, and it's just,
Yes.
it's a 5-speed. So it's like a big rig. You're like doing these exaggerated shift throws, and you have the windows all open because there's no AC, the slider windows in the back. The inside's like a giant box van. It's just absolutely cathartic. There's no features, no stereo. The gauges are illuminated with like -1 lumen of light. So it's just something that's slow car slow also, right? The feeling you get when you're piloting these cars. And it's freaking awesome, man. There's no modern feelings. It just feels good. Just
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about too. I think that's what we're looking for. I think an old pickup truck fits the bill. A Mitsubishi
Yeah.
Mighty Max or a hard body
Hard
Nissan.
bodies are sick. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude.
Or the early, even like the earlier Nissan Datsun stuff where you had the 720 and the 620 bullet sides.
God, they look
Like
cool.
those are really cool. Hiluxes. I would I I would eat an aluminum can to get my hands on a nice Toyota Stout, like late 60s, early 70s Toyota Stout. Um, yeah, trucks. Man, the mini trucks scene needs to come back. I know I've
think
mentioned
it's,
it before.
dude, I think it's right there. I think it's getting really hard to find clean mini trucks. I think that's
Yeah.
the challenge right now. But if you do, I mean, they're great to have. Like I will never not have a truck. And this is like our big departure from the Land Cruiser, right? My built 100 series Land
Yes.
Cruiser. To my $2,000 Suzu Trooper, but this thing is freaking sweet, dude. This place, out of all the cars I have, this is the one I put the most mileage on for some reason, and it's freaking awesome.
Well, it's cool, man, because it's like the other part of it too. It's like it's very easy to sit there and be like, oh, well, this expensive truck, and I've got this truck that's worth whatever, call it 20 grand, like your old 100 series compared
Sure.
to
Yeah.
that thing. It was just genuinely 1/10 the value, and be like, oh, it's a downgrade, and I'm moving in the wrong direction, but it's like, nah, man, like if you're getting just as much like joy out of this, if not the same, if not more, and you get to, I don't know, put 15 large in your back pocket.
Yeah.
That sounds like a pretty practical, level-headed thing to do.
Yeah, it's
Um,
super. It's
when
a
other
good
people would think it's irresponsible, like, oh, you're selling the newer thing to get the older thing, and burr, 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 burr. It's like, no, man, like, yeah,
I'm okay with being irresponsible. The guy with double-digit cars usually. That's all right.
usually
Sticks and stones. Oh yeah,
that's right.
dude.
That's right. So things are moving and shaking over there at the
Yeah.
House of the Wick.
I'll put that in the PCP for sure. But yeah, no, the Trooper's been a fantastic purchase.
Yeah.
But I think that's it. I think that's like kind of the thesis of our conversation today is like slow car slow it is what you make it, right? If you enjoy driving a car, just doing the mundane, the routine stuff, I think that qualifies as slow car slow success.
Yeah,
like you were saying.
Absolutely, and I think part of the slow car slow success thing too is like driving something not because of what it gives you back with regards to like, driving dynamics and handling at the limit and like, steering input like the at an apex, or like it's more like this car is it's interesting, like maybe the inputs at like driving around the city, how heavy is the steering at low speeds, and the shifter action, and like where does your elbow sit on the sill when you've got the window down, and like the image that it puts out there like into the world, and like is it like the fast douchey car, or is it like the lighthearted two-door Trooper that people are like, dude, I haven't seen one of those in forever, and it's just like yeah, other people's smile per slow mile.
Mm,
Yeah, it's a vibe, man. And
totally.
so like that's why something like a P1800 or an E21 BMW 3 Series,
Mm.
yeah, just fun and slow, and then driving them slow and not like trying to overdrive them and go like ham-fisted off a cliff.
That's it.
That's
And it's like just the simple, like for me, it's simple stuff like having a stripped down car where I'm just forced to enjoy what it's like to actually drive the vehicle. I don't have AC on. I don't have like Spotify playing through the infotainment system. It's
Yep.
just pure and like simple. It's like I just shot a video like doing a bunch of under the hood maintenance on the truck, and after I did the oil change, I'm like, next I'm going to show you guys how to reset the dash warning to reset your oil interchange or interval light on the Isuzu
push
Trooper.
the trip.
No, I go, just kidding. It's a real truck. We don't have any of that garbage.
Yeah, exactly. When it starts idling rough, it's ready for its next service.
When it doesn't make puddles in the garage, it's ready to add some fluids.
That's right. Very cool. Well, I don't know. Maybe this is me becoming an old man, but it's just like I don't know. I'm finding more and more love for the slow car slow thing. Pretty soon I'll be wearing New Balances and tucking my polo into my jorts. And I'm not saying I'm going to become a Corvette owner.
I was going to say, man, join the club. Corvette
C4
baby.
automatic C4 convertible.
Dude, C4, not to say automatic, but you can get like a manual C4 for still good money right now. It's kind
dude,
of a fucking deal.
You get like if you play your cards right, you can get like a very nice one for like 6.
Yeah, it's scary.
7.
I don't think
like a later one too, like an LT1, LT4.
This isn't gonna last forever. This is gonna go away soon. But right now, C4 Corvette baby, that's a huge bang for your buck. I know we're off topic here for sure, but
yeah,
not a slow car, at all. I think they're pretty sprightly for what they are, and they handle well, and they're fucking the looks are looking really good.
Yeah, especially you get one in a good color.
Yep.
If you can get one with a 6-speed and up the garbage pile 4+3. Or whatever, just drive it slow, do the slow car.
Yeah.
The fast car slow, I guess, in that. It's fast in its era, slow in its today's era.
Sure, and they're all low mileage. They're usually pretty looked after.
Yep. Yeah. Let's do it.
Car buying advice for the
I know.
the week.
I know. Well, you've got the big boy C4, so you're covered there. Anywho, should one of us quiz upon the other one?
Oh, I like that. I guess we go to the same club.
Rope after rope, yeah.
I think I'm quizzing you.
I believe so. Yeah.
Big dog. So let me pull up my quiz right now.
Yeah, you cycle through your exhaustive library of images, some of which depict awful things, but most of them depict
awful cars.
Actual ads. Yeah, awful cars and ads, print ads from the 80s and 90s to about the mid 2000s. Chadwick here, your friend, my friend, will read off the print ad copy, the type copy from this advertisement, redacting out any of the overly identifying signets within that their ad copy. I will get 3 guesses to guess what the ad is. What's the make? What's the model? Hopefully about what the year is. I can get hints in between those 3 guesses if I get them wrong, but I won't. I get 10 minutes, starting just about when Chadwick is done reading this print ad. Chadwick, are you prepared?
Yes, I'm getting 10 minutes on the clock in preparation H for
That's right.
Your chance to guess. The ad is as follows. Here, that's an interesting ad. So 1 pager. We have the vehicle taking up about the bottom third or quarter of the page, kind of like a passenger side 3/4 angle.
Okay.
And then there's a image of the seat, and just like maybe the upper left quadrant of the seat, kind of doing like those glamour shots, where you had the face and then you had the side profile.
Yes.
It's doing that with the seat. The text is around the seat. So it's kind of a cool ad, man. But
you said the seat or like the sea, like the ocean?
The seat.
Okay. I heard the sea.
The sea. No, not the sea.
How nautical.
No, absolutely nothing with the sea. The seat. Edition. Yes. I won't describe the seat because it might give away the car. But
okay.
Here's the ad. Blank wagon. When it comes to luxury, blank goes to great lengths. Okay. Blank is everything you expect from a blank in a station wagon. Ooh. Standard dual airbags and ABS. Anti-lock braking system, Frank. V8 power. Loads of luxury and room for 8 plus cargo.
Okay.
Blank, blank, blank. Proof
Wow.
that blank's commitment to quality goes a very long way. Call 1-800. Definitely can't give you that number. Frank,
Oh
I know
boy.
not a lot of meat and potatoes there, but geez, there's very few cars that would fit into this ad. 10 minutes starts right about now.
Oh boy.
Good luck,
So,
bud.
we have a wagon. We like the seats. It's quite luxurious.
Mm,
Dual
loads of luxury.
airbags, loads, hot sticky loads of luxury.
Mm.
Seats 8. So
Plus cargo.
probably
Plus cargo.
plus cargo.
Uh-huh.
So, man, does that mean we've got a bench seat up front? Oh boy. It didn't talk about powertrain really at all.
V8.
Oh, okay. I missed that one. Probably because I
V8
looked up here
power.
and there's like a daddy long legs just wrapping up some like weird bug it just caught right here.
Hello, daddy.
Well, if it's a V8, that's Daddy, would you like some insects? Um, I mean, it sounds like there's only one real answer here, although I suppose there could be two.
Nope.
V8 seats, and here's the trick: if it's seating 8, I mean we've got a front bench seat,
Mm-hmm.
so that really is knocking us down. I don't know if it has ABS callouts. I know the Oldsmobile, you know, Vista Cruiser effectively had ABS callouts. I'm gonna say this is. It didn't say anything about wood paneling,
Did
but
not.
I'm gonna come out and say that this is a true luxury, a true luxury vehicle. This is call it a 1996 Buick Roadmaster station wagon. Final answer, Bob.
Roadmaster wagon. When it comes to luxury, Buick goes to great lengths.
That's right, Roadmaster.
Good job, brother. This is a 91, though.
Okay,
So
so
not a
early.
bench and not a bench seat. These had 2 seats in the front and then 2 rows of 3. Believe it or not.
See, in my head, I thought it was 3 in the front in a bench, 3 in the middle row, and then 2 in the jumper.
Deuce 3-3, and it has a
Wow.
picture of a giant purple velour covered seat kind of in the back. That's the
Ooh.
secondary image. So good job, man. It does. They do have a wood paneled one with white
Okay,
paint
would
on
have that.
display.
Mhm.
Slow car,
Okay.
slow, baby.
There's 2 daddy long legs fighting now over the critter. The critter is twitching, and now the daddy long legs are battling it. Have you ever seen 2 daddy long legs fight? Oh man,
Daddy,
should I
daddy
grab
issues.
should I
No.
grab the
Okay.
nope, they've called it off. They've called it off. I wanted to go full nature for the viewers at home, but
David Attenborough in the making over here.
exactly, yeah.
No, but that's a good one. I wanted to call that out because a lot of people think of the Roadmaster like in the 80s and
Mhm.
forget that this thing actually lived into the 90s, which is shocking when I even think about it.
Because I think the year I said I think was 96. I think that's the last year.
Did they make it that far?
I
I
think
think it was
so,
like
because they
90.
ended up getting a 93, I think. 92 or 93, it went from like the Oldsmobile ones got the 305, and I don't know if the early Roadmasters got a 305 or if it was just a lower power 350, and then it ended up getting the LT1
Yeah,
from
so
that was shared with the Fleetwood.
that's right. So I thought it ended at 95. It looks like, well, 96. Yeah, they stopped building them in 95. 96 was
Yeah,
the last
96
model
model year.
year.
Yep.
But this was an ad from when it came back. So 91 to 96.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it was kind of like an homage, which is cool. I'm surprised they actually lasted that long, though, for that many models.
Yeah, I've driven a sedan, and they're kind of utterly forgettable, other than it's just like driving an old like lazy boy.
Yeah, floaty and comfy. They're kind of cool.
A slow car, slow, if you will.
Aw.
Although the LT1 powered ones, I want to say they had like a 5,000 pound tow rating, like that you can do serious towing with them with the tow package on them.
Some good torque in there, my friend.
The family truckster, yeah.
Good job. Killed it.
Thanks.
I thought that was fun. I don't think we've done one of those or even anything close to that. So
No, not at all. So that's good. I like it. I like those cars too. I know they've kind of been, what is it, Hoovy of YouTube fame has like I think he's got a boner for those cars, and he's
Oh
got like
yeah.
2 or 3 or something.
I wanted to leave wagon out at first, but then I opted to put it in because there was just like zero like statistical support for that ad. So I'm like, I'll give him a little
Yeah,
wagon.
because otherwise I probably would have been thinking it was like, like a early Escalade
Or
or like
minivan.
not with a V8.
Yeah, true. Should have been.
Yeah, I probably would have been guessing. I mean, I maybe would have gotten there, but yeah, the wagon nailed it home. Anywho, actually
That
V8. Like
is-
I might have gotten there without the V8 because I was thinking about it. But I was thinking, oh, maybe it's a Volvo, or like an E300
Could have been a Land Cruiser.
wagon. Could have been cruising for a bruising. Although they weren't really calling that luxury back then. Maybe in like
Oh, I don't know. They were still like 60K.
oh, they were. I mean, they were pricey, but like I don't even the 80 series. I don't know if they were trying to sell it as a luxury machine,
Hmm.
like this ad is trying to say with its
Right.
blush velour interior. But yeah, no, good one. That's a good ad. That's a good one.
Yes. Fun times.
How should we celebrate?
You know how we celebrate around these parts. A little bit of
This is
tea.
how we do it.
What would
If
you
I
do
do
with
it,
a
I mean
million?
PCP.
What would you do with $1 million? That's like your favorite Chappelle show line. What would you do with $1 million? I'd buy my mama a new car and spend the rest on PCP.
Definitely. I'm rich, biatch.
I got hope we're pregnant. Okay, PCP, Project Car Progress.
Gotcha, bitch.
What have you been up to, Frank, for PCP?
Oh boy.
Or PCP adjacent is what you usually dabble in.
This is true. Yeah. Man, it's complicated, bro.
Yeah.
So, I've ended up with another car. I know
I
I've
talked about this, dude. This was not the plan. Okay.
it's not the plan. Not the plan.
Oh, I fully support this plan, though.
Although it's actually even worse than you anticipate, than you know, my friend.
The car is worse than I anticipated?
No,
Okay.
no, the not backwards thing. So, first off, yes, there's another stray under my purview. Let's put it that way. Which is currently over with my folks over at Car Donation Services because I'm at a critical mass. And so they've got something over there. It's a 1984
Yes.
Toyota Celica Supra,
Okay.
97,000 miles, one
Very
owner
low.
until 2022.
Ooh.
5-speed manual,
I like everything so far.
P type as they called it. So that's the performance variant. So it's got the wheel flares and the rear spoiler that everyone loves. The knockoff Recaro seats, completely stock, two-tone maroon over a maroon cloth interior. Paint is dead, sitting outside in the sun for a very long time.
Period Toyota paint too. So
but body straight, zero rust.
damn.
Runs beautifully.
Good.
I did notice on its last startup, it did puff a little bit of smoke on startup, but that went away pretty quickly. Sailed right through smog.
That's a sign.
And yeah, so that is now mine. And I, it,
This guy.
so I don't know. The plan for it is I don't know. I would love to do a ton. It runs really well. It runs really strong. It's under 100,000 miles. The clutch was done at 80,000 miles at the dealership.
I know.
I've got service records to new. Window sticker. Now the paint is dead.
Yeah.
The
Needs a
interior
repaint.
is fairly faded. Yeah, it needs a repaint. I mean, it's almost presentable because it's so straight and like it's unmolested.
But
God,
the
these
other
spiders are
stats,
going at it again. I swear.
the other stats on that car, I would say, with the mileage, condition wise, it warrants a paint job.
It does.
This one totally warrants it. And I think if you got a proper paint, obviously factory color, decent quality paint job, I think that's a keeper car right there.
It is, but I also have like 60% of my cars I need to have fewer of. Like I need to shed many cars.
Oh, I'm not giving you a pass. I'm not giving you a pass on skipping out on our fleet liquidation, my friend.
No, but what I'm getting at what I'm getting at is if I have an opportunity to turn and burn something before I fall in love with it, that that might be the prudent thing to do. I don't know that
Don't
it's the
say it.
car guy thing to do.
Don't say the car I think you're going to say.
No, I'm saying like
Oh,
the
this
Supra.
the soup. No, that's your thing. That's your jam.
I know it is my thing and my jam, but I've got too many things and too much jam right now is my
Look at this,
problem.
Frank. I'm gonna be Frank. Hey guys, I'm Frank. I could
Yes.
sell my 924. I could sell my other 924. I could sell a Civic
Yes.
Hybrid and keep my Celica Super, which is a car I love.
Yes to all of those. Or I can sell all of those things, including this one, and
Oh,
then have a bucket of money. Like if I could turn it and make a modest profit off of it, now I have, yeah, I
they're
don't know.
so hard.
Money can be used to buy goods and services. And like
Becoming like a whole segment. But yeah, I think there's ways. I don't know. This seems like a very hard car to replace. This seems like a very hard car to replace.
potentially, but wait, there's more.
The longest.
Chadwick, I have another I've got another car.
We have swapped bodies and souls.
I know. It's
This
here's
is
the thing. Here's the thing on this one though.
yeah.
I've been lording over this car for a little bit.
Okay.
But my mom decided to just like up and give me her S2000.
Okay. We thought that might be a thing.
Well, I mean, it was like
Read the-
eventually like, hey, I'm just gonna like watch over this car for you and
Well, she
keep it in
doesn't
good
really
shape.
drive it. Like it makes sense that it would be you would be the ward of, awarded
Yes. And
guardianship.
what I told her, I was just like, I like that's very generous of you, and I appreciate that. But realistically, all you've done is saddled me with debt and burden because now it's incumbent upon me to keep it insured and keep it
You're not going to
registered.
sell that one, are you? Please.
No. That's part of my problem. That's
Okay.
part of my problem is that that's a car that will never go away. Like that will be my son's car one day, the S2000. And so now it's just like I've got the come to Jesus moment of like,
I didn't know this X factor. That's fair.
well, that's the thing. That car was yeah. So I'm sprinting backwards, my friend. And that's I've done some other things, man. Like on little Celica Super's got fresh tires on it now, so
Nice.
that's been done. But like it's stuff like that where it's just like, okay, I've got fresh tires on it. Like let me refresh some of the trim and clean it up and you know I paint the valve covers, do some like kind of basic-y stuff,
Yep.
and then maybe try and move it for like 11,
You can see that. All right, I'm gonna start playing
10.
the stage
I don't
music,
know.
Frank. This is the longest PCP ever.
And
It's
I've
been
made no
done.
progress. That's the problem.
The opposite of
Oh,
progress is
man, what have you done? Bail me out. Bail
so,
me out.
dude.
What have you done?
Unlike Frank, I've been financially responsible. I sold my C30 R Design manual.
Making me look bad, man. Making me look bad.
It was cool. I love that car, and I put new tires on it. Did some routine maintenance. Fixed the sunroof sag. This thing got pretty hot when I listed it, and two guys wanted to come at the same time, and the other guy was like, "I'm like,
Did you film it?
what's that?"
Did you film the two guys coming at the same time?
Well, my personal VHS collection,
Fair.
but
Fair. Betamax.
they both wanted to come see the car at the same time, and I honor whoever reaches out first. But this other guy was absolutely adamant. He was like, "I will throw you a down payment." I'm like, the other guy's gonna leave soon. He's coming in like an hour away, and the guy's like, "I will go up $1,000 over asking." And I was like, "Let me get back to the other guy," and he was like, "I'll go up a little more." And it kind of went back and forth, and we had like a mini bidding war. And one of the guys like came in and ended up being a really cool car guy, and they were just blown away because that car didn't even have a door ding on it. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely gourmet. And it ran great, low mileage, timing belt, water pump done, new tires. Like if you're looking for one of those, and if you're looking for a long time,
Yeah.
they were so happy. So I've got one less vehicle. How many cars do I even have right now? It's pretty low, dude. It's pretty low. Mini Cooper is going to be on the chopping block next, so look out, guys.
Okay.
But anyway, I've also been doing real PCP. So I've been car parts buying. I'm buying parts for 3 vehicles right now. And buying parts is not easy. There's a lot of research. There's a lot of price comparison. Some of these cars, let's be honest, most of the cars I own are not like common cars, especially nowadays. So I'm looking for the 3 cars I'm looking for are the Isuzu Trooper, my Chevy S10 Blazer, and the NX 2000. So the Trooper, I'm just finishing off some parts, trying to get the interior done, going to pretty up the exterior. I've been replacing bulbs. I bought $70 worth of various bulbs to replace every light in the vehicle. It's got new tires on it too. The S10 Blazer, I just bought some off-road tires, some little Goodyear action, if you will.
Sure.
That's coming along. OEM radio, which is insanely hard to find. So all kinds of fun stuff. They're doing a full resto on that. The NX 2000, some secret mods, possibly for an upcoming event. So that's on the down low.
The tornado.
Yeah, where you just put it in and it like spins the air, and it's like
70% fuel economy improvement. Yeah, perfect.
It actually generates enough electricity that you can plug your car in and charge the grid. It just does amazing things. But anyway, so maybe some secret mods coming for that sweet SR20 powered car. I don't know, but that's it, man. Sold a car and buying parts for 3 cars. Nothing bad. Serious.
Not bad. Making me just absolutely shaming me.
What, dude? I've sold 3 cars.
With your productivity. Yeah, and I'm falling off a cliff. It's bad. It's genuinely terrible. Well,
on that
note, absolutely. Thanks for hanging out with us, dear listeners. If you want to graduate from a listener to a watcher, first off, creepy. Secondly, you can do so on the YouTubes if you want to check that out. Otherwise, keep listening to wherever you gather your pods of cast. Chadwick, if the people want to stalk you aggressively, how should they do that?
Absolutely. Please do it aggressive. Bring your best game. Auto Obsessive Garage on YouTube. Rescues, restorations, and reviews of the fun cars you see in the background of these videos. Also on Instagram to some degree. And Frank, where can the good folks follow you on the internets?
Ooh, boy. Probably on a no-fly list somewhere. Also, I am also known as The Photographer's Garage, and that's primarily on Instagram, a splash on the tubes. And that's pretty much it. Otherwise, find me, find Chadwick, find us here, and we will also hopefully find you here on the next episode.
Yeah, catch me outside.
That's right. Same bat time, same bat channel, I think.
Absolutely.
Isn't that how that worked?
I like that. Yeah. Tune in.
Well, see you later.
Guys, as always, take care.
Thanks, homies.